is 20 seconds. 15 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Okay. Rep your city. Let me see the mic. Rep your city. Give me the mic. Rep your city. I got you. Rep your city. I'm gonna tell you not mine. Rep your city.
It's time for us to go live, so rep your city. I really would appreciate if y'all roll with me. Feeling this music cause it makes me wanna step. And if you don't want it to, then you lying to yourself. Cause every time we party, we gon' have fun. I don't know about you, but I'ma rep where I'm from.
Rep your city. Okay. Rep your city. Let me see the mic. Rep your city. Give me the mic. Rep your city.
Welcome to the RYC Live show this evening. I am your host for tonight. My name is Artistic, and we have my sister ANG13 in the backstage area. But before we bring her up front to the main stage, I'd like to just make a few announcements. This is Rep Your City Fresh Fridays, and we do this each and every Friday night at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. If you have not done so already, we'd like to ask you to make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Go to the YouTube channel and subscribe on our page, RYC Live. If you have not been following us or become a friend of ours on Facebook, please do that. Go to RYC Live or Rep Yo City on Facebook. If you'd like to be a future guest on a future show, please send us an email to ryclive@yahoo.com. That's ryclive@yahoo.com, and one of us from the team will be more than happy to get back to you to schedule you for a future show. So, shout out to my team, Mr. RYC Live, and the rest of the family, and all of the viewers that continually tune in each and every Friday to show some love and support. Shout out to my homeboy Kingdom Rock. I see you checking in, my brother. Please, if you all can, do us a favor right now. Share this broadcast. Share this broadcast to a friend, to a family, to a crewmate, anyone that you think that might be interested in our discussion tonight. We're going to be talking about some great things that my sister Ange has been doing over the years and what she's currently doing today. So, you all know how we do. Once again, we want to thank everyone, each and every one that has been tuning in, showing love and support. And this is, by the way, if you don't know, we've been celebrating the entire year, 50 years of hip hop, y'all. And we're doing something special here in Chicago. So keep an eye out on us, follow us. And again, stay tuned. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce my sister, ANG13.
What's up, y'all? Hey, everybody.
There she is. So how's everything? And welcome to the show, Ange.
Thank you for having me on your show, number one, Artistic. And everything is going great, man. I caught Sugar Ray Dinkies. The last of that, I was like, oh my God. I was very proud of you on getting him, to the people.
Yes,
I'm pretty sure a whole lot of people don't know.
Yeah. He was very proud to announce how old he is, 60 years old. And I'm just like, wow, that's a blessing to be still alive.
Okay. Hey, Art. Alive at 60.
So let's talk about you, Ange. So I know a little bit about your history, but I want you to share some of this. So let's go back to the beginning, because I was just having a conversation with someone recently.
Okay.
And we were talking about, we in Chicago. So in New York, they talk about the boroughs, but in Chicago, it's the sides, north side, south side, west side, And of course, everybody, whatever side you live on or you come from, you're gonna represent your side, right?
Right.
So talk about your beginning, because for those that may not know, I think it's interesting to know how we came into hip hop. What was it that inspired us, and how we, you know, what made us want to become a member, so to speak, of this culture that we're now a part of? How
You
was
know,
that for you?
you do you remember back then? It was something in the air. It was something in the air, and we didn't even live on the same sides of the city, and we all felt it.
Yeah.
And it was way before B Street even made it to the theaters. We felt that something was happening, and a lot of us had some family out in New York, that came back. A lot of us heard the radio with Peely coming with the freshness from the East Coast, or somebody had some cassette tape with songs that ain't never came out, somebody doing a move that ain't never been done, somebody throwing up some art that's never been seen. We were a part of something that was in the air.
Yes.
That was hip hop. Hip hop was calling a whole lot of us back then, and we were like really, really young. My introduction was like I was 11 years old. I was very, very fortunate to live on the north side of Chicago. Now I'm an Inglewood baby, but we moved to Rogers Park, and
Okay.
that's where everything was popping.
So
Like,
wait, so you're originally from Inglewood?
I was originally born over here at the University of Chicago,
Okay.
but
Okay.
my family stayed in Inglewood. It was
Okay.
in around Foster Park, that area, that wide of an area. We was moving around,
Okay.
but we did end up coming to Uptown first,
Okay.
because I did go to the boys club, went to McCutcheon, rapped at the talent show they had at the boys club. I actually rapped and beatbox. It was crazy, and they'd never seen it before. So when we moved to Rogers Park, that's when everything that was hip hop was around. There were graffiti writers that were hitting all the mailboxes in the neighborhood. Peace go out to Telly and the UAC crew who showed up. Was no side what was up very early in the game, and we had b-boys who were beginning, DJs who were beginning, MCs who began. It was the baby stages when I was around 11 years old. But there were people who were really making noise out there, especially on the MC tip. We heard of this one great MC from the West Side. It was Snake Rock,
Okay.
and he was coming, to get down at Steps when they were doing that whole thing that Peely and Akbar were throwing on the north side. The first hip hop parties, I was a shorty, and they was throwing those parties, and people came through like from all over the city just to get a whiff of what was in the air with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you remember that scene, Steps was a really, it was the beginning of hip hop for Chicago, I would say, because it gathered everybody together in one place, and it was the culture. It wasn't just MCs got together, MCs got together. It wasn't just graffiti writers that just got together, a bunch of b-boys that just got together. Everybody got together and introduced themselves into this world, this hip hop culture that Chicago was building. And as a little kid, I wanted to be a part of it that bad, because I was on punishment a lot as a kid for the things that I would say. Like my mom just hated my mouth. She was like, "Oh, 2 weeks. You got a month on punishment," just for the things that I said. So One day I was on punishment again. This is a weekend punishment going on. And my mama said, "I'm going to work, clean this house. Don't turn on the TV. You can turn on the radio, but don't turn on the TV." I was like, "All right, bye." Close the door. And immediately I turned on the TV. You don't tell me what to do. What you ain't even here.
Right.
So, but I did know to clean the house because I ain't crazy. So I turned the TV on, and as I'm cleaning the house, back then on Saturdays, the music shows used to come on.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm cleaning the crib one Saturday, and Soul Train is getting ready to come on. And I'm like, yeah, let me get ready. But Soul Train didn't come on that day.
Uh-huh.
A TV show called Graffiti Rock came on.
Mm-hmm.
I saw this show. I was losing my mind. It was my first like real introduction to hip hop, seeing it on TV. I mean, it was going around in our neighborhood, but to see it all on TV, like, you know, this is the first time that I had seen the atmosphere that Steps gave to us. There were MCs, there were DJs, there was graffiti, there was B-boys, all of them. It looked like Soul Train, but a hip hop version.
Right.
You know, the MCs that were on there, I hated them so bad. I just hated them. I couldn't, I was like, oh, ugh, what's going on here? And I couldn't call anybody at that time to let people know what was going on TV.
Right.
Because nobody had a phone, you know, and everybody on Saturday was already outside. So
Right.
I'm losing my mind now, like, oh my God, this is and I can't tell my sister, who's a rat. She would tell if I was watching television. I couldn't tell her what was going on because she'd have told my mama. I couldn't tell my mama what was going on because I wasn't supposed to have a TV on. I had to keep to myself what I just saw. And I was like, oh my God. Oh, I'm just like, oh dang. So the following weekend, I was on punishment again.
Wow.
And so, you know, same rules. You can watch TV. You can't watch TV. You can listen to the radio, clean my house, but don't turn on that TV. I'm like, okay, bye, Mom.
Right.
Slam, click. Let me see what's on TV. Add some cleaning the house. I'm like, yeah, let me turn on Channel 9 because that's where I saw that last show last week. Graffiti Rocket's gonna come on again. I went there. When Graffiti Rocket was Soul Train, I was like, dang, all right. Well, I'm gonna date myself, and it's okay. I said to myself that same day, I was like, you know what? I wonder what song American Bandstand. A lot of y'all don't even know about American Bandstand. Look it up. Y'all know nothing about it. American Bandstand, and they had musical groups the same MCs that I just saw on Graffiti Rock were on American Bandstand, and I hated them again. I'm like, ugh, who keeps booking these dudes? That's who it was.
Run DMC?
Yeah. It was Run DMC. So I said to myself, my 11-year-old self, man, I know I could. And before I could say, do better than that, I got up, went to my room, found a piece of paper and a pen. I wrote my first rhyme.
Okay.
And I knew how I wanted to say when I said it. So I went to the bathroom after I memorized it. And I was like, oh boy, I'm gonna have this expression on my face when I say this. I was planning out the whole thing.
Right.
Knowing I wasn't going nowhere because I was on punishment.
Right.
If I ever was gonna go anywhere, knew what I was gonna do. I knew because I saw Run DMC and I didn't like him. I didn't like him at all. And I was like, I know I can do better than him. And so Peely and Akbar came to Edgewater. Well, yeah, not before you go into Rogers Park, I think it's Edgewater. Well, they came through. They started throwing parties over at Steps, hip hop parties.
Right.
Everybody was going. The whole neighborhood, 3 neighborhoods, 5, 6 neighborhoods. Everybody coming from everywhere to come to these parties.
Right.
They were having an MC battle. Akbar was going against this cat named Devon. Devon was the best MC in our neighborhood.
Okay.
This was the battle. So I took my 11-year-old ass up there because the flyer said you had to be a teen to get in. Took my ass to the door. I talked my way in. Dude, let me in. I'm like, oh, this is going to be great. So I walk up the stairs, and Steps had a very long staircase that led to the top where the party was. Hence the name Steps.
Right.
And when I got to the top of that staircase and I opened the door, artistic, I'm not going to lie to you. When I opened that door, my world turned into full color.
Okay.
Like I had been seeing things before that very dull.
Okay.
Like it had nothing to it. When I opened that door, I mean, as slow as it seemed, the color got so magnificent as I was opening the door. And what I was watching were people standing by the DJ booth, some MCs over here, some B-boys over here, some artists over here with black books. So, dude, it was hip hop all in my face, like I just seen on Graffiti Rock. So I was just like, damn, I'm home. I felt like I was at the crib. I was like, this is awesome. So I see my friends. They can't believe it. I'm outside because I'm always on punishment. They're like, Dad, how you getting? I'm like, yeah. So this battle that was getting ready to go on with Akbar and Divine, these two were warrior MCs.
Okay.
They were going at each other. One came dope, the other came dope, the other came dope, the other came. They were just getting it. We couldn't decide because they were letting the crowd decide who was the winner. So it was like, yo, we're going to calm y'all down a little because it was getting wild in there with this battle. It was that good. It was like, it was beyond supernatural and wild, mad skills good. It was that battle. So they took an intermission for a second. I was standing with my friends. I said, I'm going to go get that mic. They was like, I dare you. And I was like, all right. So I went over to where the booth was and I stood there for a second because I was terrified. I didn't know this dude. So it was Peely Fresh.
Okay.
It was Peely Fresh. And I stood there for a minute and he was cutting. He looked over at me twice. He's like, yo, what's up? You know, that's how you say it.
Right.
What's the purpose? What you need? I was like, since they're having like an intermission, you think I can get on the mic? He was like, no. I looked at him like, no.
Right.
This is not how you make friends. What are you doing? No. And so here comes Akbar, right to where we were. He comes over, hey, well, what's up? What's going on? I said, I'm just trying to get the mic. But your boy said no. And I'm looking at Akbar because I took my eyes off of him.
Right.
And I looked up at Akbar and he stared at me. Now, Akbar really didn't know me.
Right.
He stared at me and said, hey man, go ahead and let it rock. So we got some time for it.
Okay.
And he was like, all right. So he gets an instrumental. He starts cutting. He said, when I let this beat go, you better start rapping. I said, when you let that beat go, you better duck. He started scratching even harder. Because I guess this dude just didn't like me. He just met me. He didn't like me. But he was cutting. So I played with the cut that he was doing. He did. So I was like, okay, cool. 1 Tweedledee, 2 Tweedledum. Get ready, homeboys, because here I come. Now, when I said that, people were turned away from the booth. Okay. When I said 1 Tweedledee, the whole party stood still.
Okay.
I said 2 Tweedledum, the whole party turned around to see who was on the mic.
Who is that?
When I said, get ready, homeboys, because here I come, everybody rushed to the DJ glass booth, jumped on the glass, and started banging on it. Dude, I just kept rhyming. The whole place went wow. I still remember the rhyme to this day. I was even beatboxing. It's just funny to me that I was beatboxing because it was part of what I put to the rhyme and I did it perfectly. Okay. So he looked over at me and was like, all right then. You did your thing. I was like, yeah. So I walked out the booth. Well, they didn't finish that battle. They didn't. I don't remember them finishing that battle. All I remember is the party would continue for a little while longer, and then it was time to go. But when it was time to go, as I was leaving, I got these. You was dope. You was fresh. You was dope. Damn, girl, you was dope. You was fresh. As I was walking down those long-ass steps that led from the top of steps to the street. And at the street, guess who was down there at the street? When I got to the door.
That was your mom, right?
That's right, because I was still on punishment. I left the crib to go to that party at Steps because I wasn't finna miss that battle. And something told me to go and take the opportunity and ask, could I get the mic? And I've been chasing that love ever since because I got my ass beat that night because I left the house. I wasn't supposed to leave. My sister narked me out to where exactly where I was. I was like, I don't know, how did they figure out? And here go my sister in the back.
Okay.
Awful. Just, just gave me to the enemy. But I've been chasing that particular high ever since. That high was love. That high was amazing. That high was adoration. That is what I've been chasing for the last my lifetime so far.
Okay, so let me ask you this, Ange, because everybody come from different communities. So in your community, so that was Rogers Park that you were in?
Yes.
So at that time, like you were saying, writers were, hitting the mailboxes and what have you. But the scene on the streets, like, I'm just trying to like paint this picture, like, like you say you was watching Graffiti Rock, and then you watch American Bandstand. But was you like did you do any poetry prior to that? Like, or were you thinking about the idea of putting words together in that type of format before witnessing Graffiti Rock in American Bandstand?
What had happened was in my younger days, and it all actually came together so like eloquently, like it was supposed to happen. Our family was going through a lot of turmoil at one point, and that we were suggested to go to a family therapist.
Okay.
And the therapist told me that I know how to create a situation. And so many words, what happened, it was all my fault. And I'm like saying to myself, how do I have that much power to make everything that was going on to go on? And I'm like, you can't blame that on me. She was like, yeah. Well, I want you to take this composition book. And I want you to start writing stuff down. Write how you feel. And read it to yourself.
Okay.
And that's how I got into the love of just writing things down.
Okay.
Because they were reference points. And when you look back at how you felt, you have the opportunity to acknowledge and change how you may proceed, so to speak. So I used to just write what was going on in my house, what was going on with my feelings, what was going on in school in those composition books. And I still have every last one of my composition books from that time. So that actually is going to be put into a book. And it's going to be amazing. Because when I look back on just a few of the pages, you would never, I don't look like what I've been through. Thank God.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But those compositions were, I say, a really good stepping stone to me being able to put structure to structure things. And I wasn't doing poetry before then.
Okay.
I was just writing down how I felt.
Okay.
And when I got the opportunity to rhyme how I felt, it came with ease.
Gotcha.
And when I got the opportunity to say how I felt, I took the opportunity. Because a lot of times, and especially being 11 years old and a girl, at that time, they wasn't trying to hear what you were saying. Because the first answer I got was no. But I didn't want to leave until somebody said yes.
Right. Right. So now what about like because I understand you was dancing, you was writing. So like, how did now that what you just explained was you getting on the mic,
right?
So how did the other elements come into your life early on?
Now dancing actually came first because my cousin danced well. So when breaking was starting to come into Chicago, we knew people who knew how to break, so they would actually teach us. And you and the crew with your family, your cousin, and y'all doing routines in the crib that you got to do in front of the family later on in the night. So we got full out routines. We doing swipes, doing backspins. We,
Right.
we locking, we doing everything. I'm like, I got really nice up rock.
Right.
And then one day, I needed a bra. That actually finitoed everything because I got lopsided. I couldn't get my balance. I was like, I'm becoming a girl. I don't know what to do. So, I can't. Everything. I can't do it hurts. It was that, man.
Okay.
I was blooming, and it was moving me out of being a boyish body, you say, to
Okay.
my girl body coming in.
Right.
So I couldn't do it. I had to see where the wind was telling me to go next. I mean, because I didn't have a plan to become an MC. I didn't have a plan to become a breaker. I didn't have a plan to become a graffiti writer. I had no plans in these things at all. I just did them one day.
Right.
Just to see, if I could do them one day. But I was around the people who were already doing them, so they would show me the ropes. So I think I'm losing the train of thought. What was the question again? I'm sorry. I think I'm talking too much.
So I'm just trying to.
How did I get into the? Okay.
Yeah,
right.
the elements.
Okay, so from breaking, yes, body came in, couldn't do it. So I went and became an MC. Now, my mom knew I could rap because I was getting gigs when I was a shorty.
Okay.
Like I rapped for Harold Washington, courtesy of the church on Rogers Park. They had a community center. An organizer, her name was Katie Hurst. I remember she was my very first manager. I would say, because she was the one that was getting me these gigs.
Okay.
And so I was doing like marches that kids would do for particular instances in which we were believing at the time. I'm not too sure what they were, because I had to focus on, I better not mess this rap up, because I know it may be a video, camera there. I can't mess up this rap. So a lot of times, the only way I can continue to do that is if I have my grades up.
Mm-hmm.
My grades start slipping. If I was getting C's, I could not rap.
Okay.
So I became a graffiti writer.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah. Basically, like a friend of mine, her name was Nikki. She is still, I wonder if I could say her name. I was going to say Nikki right now.
Okay.
Nick 4. You remember Nick 4 from, does that name sound familiar? Right.
Right.
Kep was putting up Nikki because Kep went to Sin High School when I was at Sullivan, and she was at Sin as well. Okay. And me and Nikki were friends. He was, like I said, putting up Nick 4. And I was like, man, I know I could be a graffiti writer. All I need is to find out is a real good name. And I was in 7th grade in Mrs. Hughes' class at Field Elementary. I came into the classroom one day early, and Miss Hughes, Miss Norris, her name was Miss Norris. Miss Norris was mad at me, and she said, Angela Zone, sit in the back of the classroom. I'm thinking, okay, that's where my desk is. I'm gonna go sit in my desk. So I get to my desk, and she was like, nah, turn the desk around. And I'm like, turn the desk around? And I'm looking around at other kids like, is she for real? It was like, she was like, turn the desk around. So I turned it around with an attitude. And she was like, sit like that for the day. I'm like, whoa, what did I do? This day, I don't know what I did. So as she's taking, everybody on this magical journey of learning, I'm in the back of the class facing the wall on fire. I'm salty. I'm like, Dad, what did I do? And so I started writing my name. At that point, I wished I was somebody else. I have never been turned around. That was just a kind of a torture for me, that you'd be turned around. I couldn't talk to nobody. I had to face the wall. I couldn't do nothing. And I took a piece of paper and I started writing my name. I was like, I wish I was somebody else. And I was just writing ANGIE, because I go by the name of Angie. because my name is Angie. So ANGIE, 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 ANGIE turned into ANG13. I don't know if it was dyslexia that was kicking in early in the game. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Kept doing that. And I was like, man, that's actually what I can write real quick. And so for the rest of the day, I was getting up in this notebook real quick. Just page at the page, the page, the page. So, like I said, to this day, I don't know why she had me turned around in that class the whole day. But it's amazing that my name is ANG13, A to the NG to the IE. Flip the IE, it's a 13 and it's me. The one will be an I, 3 will be an E if you flip it around and turn it upside down. Her turning me around to a wall to, I guess, discover myself from writing my name over and over again was like a melody that was supposed to happen. I wouldn't have been ANG13 had she not did that.
So now, was that part in your life, was that before or after steps?
That was after steps because I was in 7th grade.
Okay. So when so when you first got on the mic, you wasn't ANG13.
No, I was Oski Rock.
Okay.
OCSKI Rock, baby.
Okay.
No, I wasn't.
Okay.
I wasn't.
Interesting.
I didn't age 13 until Miss Norris turned me around that day in that classroom. And then I brought it to my friends. They was like, that's actually dope. Yeah, you could do. They encouraged me.
Right.
Said, you can put that up real quick. And so I went on the train one day by myself, and I knew that I needed some shoe dye because I saw my friends, my girlfriend's brothers and their friends who were actually graffiti writers putting together homemades, and they were doing it with shoe dye. Well, I didn't understand that it had to be shoe dye,
right?
Shoe wax. So I was out there all thin and drippy with the ANG13s. It was terrible. I was so terrible. And they let me know I was terrible. I mean, I was getting crossed out, circles with lines in it, like, yeah, stay off the lines. Luckily, because people remember that I was an MC from Steps, I was able to build some relationships with a whole lot of people that I met there. One of those people was the ever great Kep. Kep opened up the door for me to go to the Hall of Fame, the Wall of Sin, anything, all the all city meetings.
Okay.
Kep. I asked, could he take me? And he was like, don't say nothing to me. And something like that. He was like, I don't know what it was. He just didn't want to take me. But guess who I had with me at the time that he had to take me?
Who was that?
K-Light.
Oh.
I was coming back home from my crib one day, just walking down the street, and I saw a guy with a bomber on, a bomber jean jacket with a piece on it. I'm like, ooh. So he was walking in front of me. I tapped him on the shoulder. I'm like, that bomber is dope. Are you from Chicago? And he was like, no, I'm from the Bronx. I'm like, oh. And then I turned around and started walking to the crib. He's like, hey, yo, wait, why you say that? I said, I was just asking you about the jacket. I thought you might have been from somebody from Chicago with something like that. But you would have something like that.
Right.
Said, yeah, I would have something like that. Who are you? And we developed a friendship like that.
Okay.
Man, dude, K-Light, I don't know if he is out there watching this, or if anybody knows where he is, if you know his Aunt Lovey, anybody, have them contact ANG13@gmail.com, something, because I love you to death, K-Light. If nothing ever about me ever comes your way, you just know that I love you to death. You are really a focal point and the reason why I was able to move through into the graffiti world too, because had you not been with us to go to the all city meetings, I don't think Kep would have took me. I don't think he would have.
Interesting.
So I got a chance to go to the all city meeting. I'm not sure who called it, but it was down at the Hall of Fame. Now, a lot of people don't know what the Hall of Fame is right now. Can they Google our whole history? Where can they go to know this history, Art?
You know what? That's a good question, and that
Yeah.
and unfortunately they can't. But there is pictures out there online. It's just that you might have to put in multiple searches to find it. But
Okay.
if you put in Chicago Graffiti Wall of Fame, there may be some trace links that'll take you to some of the pictures.
Yeah. So you know what about the Hall of Fame because you were there. So you
Yes,
know where is it Pingtown Park where the Hall of Fame is?
that's
Yeah.
exactly what it is
Pingtown
now.
in Chicago in Pingtown Park. That is Chicago's Hall of Fame for graffiti. The what is it called? The not the panels, but the pylons.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
cement. Yeah,
yeah.
those were the walls.
Yeah, I
So
always call them retainer walls
okay,
that hold up the bridge.
they hold the bridge, right? So those walls were, where artwork was done under those walls, and by those train tracks is where conversations were made from the north and the south to either have a war or to end a war or to get down on the lines at one time. Everybody, let's just go crazy, let's get nuts. It was that particular atmosphere that I got introduced to, and with me going down there, I was able to meet the Teamsters. I was able to meet Forecast. I was able to meet um, Fear. I was able to meet all the graffiti riders at Illy. I was able to meet everybody. Crack, Orko, Slay. I was Color. I was able to meet everybody, and those are just the names I can name of a few. There were
Yeah,
a lot of us down there. Do you
yeah,
remember how many
yeah,
people were down there? I see old pictures now because there are pictures. There
yep.
are pictures, and
Hmm.
there was a lot of us young ass kids in a dangerous ass hot area. Hot area.
Yeah,
Trains were still rolling through, and we out there talking about how we gonna destroy the city.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
the good old days.
Okay, Ange,
That's how I got into graffiti, man.
let's do this real quick. We got comments coming in, and I don't want to not acknowledge them. So let's start with the first one that came in by Kingdom Rock.
Oh gosh. Hi,
So,
Kingdom.
there he is. He
Hi,
said,
Kingdom.
"Yeah, brother Kingdom Rock checking in. Says that's where I met Snake,
Snake.
and it said he was down with the West Siders like K Rock Ski and went to Dunbar with us. Okay, so
Okay.
that was earlier.
Okay.
Uh,
Right.
okay, Steps, my first hip hop party.
Oh.
Cool. Okay. Then he said still the only person in hip hop that hated Run DMC is ANG13.
Hey, oh, man. I was like,
DJ V8 say hi family.
hey, famo, how are you? Mwah, mwah.
Oh, checking in is Lady Jim Star.
Moisty.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Now we have someone I'm not familiar with. Christian. What's
Look
that?
at How you gonna put Sis Ange 13? You go back because you know me as Sister Ange. We were with Sister Ange for a while. Okay, let me tell you why. Let me tell everybody.
Yeah,
why
go ahead and explain that too. Go ahead and explain that.
Being Ange 13, everybody just assumed that Ange 13 was a boy.
Okay.
They didn't know it was a girl.
Okay.
And I wasn't finna say nothing neither. But when I got to the point where we were doing really bad things on the train that I had to back off,
Mm-hmm.
that I started to become an MC again.
Okay.
And I wanted to keep Ange 13, but people kept thinking I was a boy. And they see me and be like, oh, damn, that's not a boy. But I was like, all right, let me try to clean that up. So I became Sister Ange,
Okay.
Sistaang for a while.
Right.
And I didn't like that name, but it was to get people to know that Ange 13 was a woman and not a man.
So that's why you came up with that.
Yeah, that was the only reason why.
Wow.
Sister Ange. Yeah. Was I going to bless the children? No.
Right.
Yeah, but I needed something to differentiate me from the guys. And that did it. without me
but
having to be seen.
but you didn't really like that though, did you, Ange?
Mm-mm.
Because I can remember when you were going under that, and then when you stopped, and then you was like, "Don't call me that no more."
Yeah. I don't know how to tell everybody that I just didn't like being called that anymore, and it was okay to stop. And I got a new moniker. You can say, just call me ANG13. Or call me ANG13. And yeah, if you know me, you know that's where ANG13. You go way back, and hello out there who knows ANG13.
Yeah.
ANG13. Yeah, that's where that
Cool.
came from, man.
Cool. All right, here's another comment that came in. ANG13 is a legend in Chicago's hip hop scene. I remember hearing about her in the 90s through Shot Rock Nation. Good to see her still rocking.
Thank you, son. Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you. You know what? I think a lot of us who grew up in hip hop, it's our life. We never grew out of hip hop. We just let us mold us into the adults that we became.
Yes.
We are great public speakers. We are great teachers. We are great historians. We are great cinematographers, artists. We are a great culture. And thank God for it, because I have a sister and she and I we are a lot of the same things. Our lives are totally different.
Okay.
She's not with hip hop at all.
Okay.
Not at all. And I say thank God for it, because I think I could have probably ended up with the life that she has right now. And it's the total opposite of this awesome hip hop life I'm living right now. Totally awesome.
That's what's up. Well, I think it's great. First off, I wanna just thank you too, for coming in and joining, because like I can remember there was a time when women that was there just watched, right? They watched us dance, they watched us do what we did, and that was pretty much
It
about
moved
it.
us out the way, all that stuff.
Yeah. And that was pretty much about it, because it just wasn't the usual thing to see women get into the culture, and literally say, "Let me partake of that. Give me that marker. Give me that. Let me see if I could do it." You know what I'm saying? So, and then not only, and respect to the ones that did, but then to continue to do it like yourself is commendable, because some people just didn't. They like, nah, I'm not finna climb up this pole. Or I'm not finna.
Well, nobody said it was an all male thing to do.
Yeah.
Hip hop has never been gender based. No one
Right.
said you can't do it.
Right.
It's just a matter of, can you do it?
Right.
Do you have the skill to do it?
Right.
And a lot of times, especially early in the game, hip hop was not very welcoming.
Yes.
You get the double looks, you get that. I see other people doing it to others as well. It's a part of the process, but man, if you're gonna get on that mic as a woman, you have to get on there hard, because number one, they're probably only going to give you one opportunity to show what you can do. And it seemed like that one opportunity is forever.
Mm-hmm.
So if you mess up now, forever, you are not getting back on this mic. So that's how Chicago is. Chicago is if you they waiting for a note to crack so they can go boo. And I don't know why we like that. But I'm glad we like that, because that has that particular type of fear has built some of the most amazing people.
Yeah.
The most resilient people. Big up to Chicago.
So
go ahead.
So let me ask you this, Ange. Was it, like, explain your perspective as a woman coming into this amongst a whole bunch of guys? Like, what was that like for you?
Oh, it was heaven. Because I love men. Everywhere they are. Every single man, tall, fat one, skinny one, short one, white, I ain't care. It was heaven to me, dude.
Okay.
And when I figured out, like, it didn't take long that none of them like me, I was like, I'm already in, so let me do something.
Yeah.
So I just went with it. There's a lot of cute boys in hip hop, but yeah, they just they wasn't fucking with me. But they did show me how to be the person that I am in this culture right now. So I want to thank the Chicago hip hop community for even being there for a young Black girl, just trying to see how far she can take it. And y'all made me great, I would say.
That's what's up. That's what's up. We got my homeboy Ronnie Boykins checking in. Says much respect.
Oh, that's not Ronnie. That's Ron Silas.
Oh,
Thomas.
yeah. I when I seen this out first, I was like, "Who is this?" But then I was like,
me too.
That's what's up. Shout out to Maureen checking in. Look, she say Ange was one of the only women performing in the beginning.
She's right. Look, man, Telly, the king of Northside graffiti in the hood, for real, Telly, brought to my attention one day. He was like, "Hey, do you know that you were the first female to rap at a hip hop club in Chicago?" And I looked at him, I'm like, damn, he's right. Mm-hmm. You know when he said that? When I was 32 years old.
Wow.
All this time, I never thought about that. I never thought about it. Right. I just said, press the button in the back of me.
Right.
It ain't been turned off since. I never thought of being the first of anything. I know I just had to go and do it because I hated the way Run DMC did it. And what's weird is the track that was playing when Peely Let Me Rhyme, when he was doing that do was Run DMC live at the Funhouse. Right. That was the fucking track that I had to rap over these cats that I didn't like, and I knew this was the man. I had to murder that track, and I did. I did. So
that's what's up.
After that, I loved Run DMC.
There you go. Oh, here's one. Ange, what's cracking? Ass A First Queen. So talk about
Ill State Assassin.
Yeah. Talk about
that. Okay. Ill State Assassins. So those all city meetings that we were talking about that graffiti writers had. Well, the hip hop community also has all city meetings. Mm-hmm. And a lot of crews come to the all city meetings from all over. And I know that the Terror Dome is what we called it, is where the meetings were being held. I don't know how I knew that. I don't know how we got the information that these meetings were happening at the Terror Dome. I just don't know. It could have been word of mouth.
Okay.
We had no internet back then. Everything was word of mouth. Every single thing. I'm just so surprised how we got together just by word of mouth.
Because it was people from all over the city that came to those meetings.
Right. And they were all city meetings. They weren't Chirac meetings just yet. They were just all city meetings.
Right.
And I would go with Maureen, the girl who, Maureen, she just shouted out saying I was one of the only women there. She would be there with me, and another girl named Kara. It would be the three of us going to these all city meetings. And those two were going because they were actually rolling with me because I rap. So, by association, these are my friends, they can all go. So we were getting to know a lot of people who were there. And this one group of guys that were there, one of the guys I knew was Riot One. So, Riot being Riot. What's up, Ash? Hey, what's up? Hey, come over here and meet my friends. So he was introducing us to Prodigy, that we know as Lord Prodigy, Bobby, Ambrose, Willie Rice, which we know as Chainsaw, Equalizer, DJ EQ. We're meeting them, and we all start really hanging out because Chainsaw took a liking to me.
Okay.
And I was like, I don't date dudes who rap, because he told me he rap. I was like, nah. He said, okay, well, I DJ. I said, I don't date dudes who DJ. He was like, I got to have you somehow. Okay, I don't rap no more. I'm not a DJ no more. I'm like,
how does that work?
I'm like, you just quit your job or something. What the? He's like, I'm trying. He was trying to really holler. So I found that was very cute. So I rode along, and it was actually, that was the first actual boyfriend I really had. The really first real boyfriend that I had. And I had to say boyfriend because, no, I'll take that back. That was the first man I dated, because
Okay.
I was still in high school and he already graduated from high school.
Nice.
That was the first man I dated. I actually dated kind of before him. Rest in peace to Warwick Brown. But when we all started hanging out with each other, there were parties happening at the Blue Gargoyle that was being thrown, and our friends were the ones that were either going to it, that we met over at the all city meetings, Chain, Kingdom, Bobby, all them. We all really not just hanging all the time, because I'm dating Chain, and Kara probably, I think she was dating Riot at the time, or somebody in the group.
Okay.
Maureen was hollering that Kingdom. It was, that type of thing. We were all still in high school, but everybody liked each other, so we could hang around with each other.
Right.
And we were over at Chain's house one day, and they gonna argue to the end with me when I say this, and I know I remember this like yesterday. We were over at Chain's house, and I was sitting on his bed. We were all in his room,
Uh-huh.
and we all, kind of found out that Ange knew how to rap. They didn't know that I really knew how to rap.
Right.
And they had already had a crew of people that they got down with. They wanted to get a name. We could have a crew. We just need a name.
Right.
So we're throwing all these names around. I said, we live in Illinois. What about Ill State? It got quiet. They said it's got to be hard. We got to be like assassins. They said Ill State Assassins. That's how Ill State Assassins started. That's how it started. Point blank, period. It was in Chain's room. You can ask Maureen, she was there. Chain was there. Anybody else be like, no, I started it. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. No. Ange helped put that name together. And it started the campaign of one of the best hip hop crews that Chicago has ever had. Like ever. The Ill State Assassins were the truth of truths. There was a lot of talent in that camp.
Yes.
They sprouted. Can I say sprouted? Yeah. They were the jump off point of everything dope in Chicago. Period.
And I think people, because we have this debate a lot about who did what. I mean, this is just always circulating.
Okay, that's what I remembered. I'm sorry, Art.
No, I'm just saying, like, I think, like, when you think about, like, you said, the all city meetings, and you think about some of the little things that happen at something like that maybe this guy did that, or maybe this female did that, and it just came to be what it became, right? So it's not like, I was just looking at the article with MC Shyrock, and Debbie D was like, hey, you didn't create the legacy of women getting on the mic by yourself. You wasn't
This is true.
So, I think, like, we can't forget the people that was along, that maybe didn't blow up as big as we have become, some of our names circulate and permeate more than others. But there was other people that did stuff that that's to this day that really gets no credit. Maybe they walked around with the radio. Maybe they carried the records. You know what I'm saying? So they were still.
Maybe they had the last $5 that was needed for something.
Right.
Yeah, those people, they don't get the recognition. But hip hop, on the real, is not a solo endeavor. It's a group effort.
I agree.
Everything. I had an idea to follow somebody else, to be better than somebody else doing something that I felt I could do. Right. I got into a culture where you have to have skills to be considered a part of this particular culture. You just can't come into hip hop whack. I mean, a lot of us may start off whack, but you can't stay there.
Yeah,
you cannot stay there.
Yep.
I mean, people will let you know right away if you are terrible or if you should go and do something else. So hip hop is very particular about who it let in back then.
Mm-hmm.
Hip hop, let me say it again. Hip hop was very particular about who it let in back then. It didn't matter what nationality you are. It mattered how dope you were.
Mm-hmm.
That was the only requirement.
Now, I'm going to take this quote that one of my favorite quotes from you. And this was there in your interview that you did with Midway. Okay. And I think it's so true. But you said Chicago takes hip hop very, very literal and very, very serious.
Yep.
You know, and I think that is such a true statement. You know,
no.
Why would you say that, Ange?
Because it's so weird. Chicago don't believe it until somebody say, "No, man, not that."
Right.
We look at the surface of things. Those gold chains we had on back in the day, that wasn't costume jewelry. Those were fat gold chains we had on back in the day, but not in New York. Mm-hmm. Not from what I hear. Mm-hmm. Those weren't real. Mm-hmm. Ours were. Mm-hmm. Our freestylers are for real freestylers. A lot back then really wasn't freestyle. Mm-hmm. Our freestylers were. A lot of our graffiti writers, self-made. Mm-hmm. They didn't take any styles from New York. They're self-made artists. They're actual artists that do graffiti work. A lot of people in New York were looking at somebody from New York. We already had it. It was already seemed like a part of Chicago. It was who we were anyway. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That was my perception of it. Somebody else may see it a bit different. Mm-hmm. But it seemed like Chicago always meant it. Like it wasn't something that could easily be left alone. If we were doing it, we were doing it to the end. To the end. We don't even get to retire in hip hop. We do it to the very end. Mm-hmm. Because it's something that we help put in the world and that we made a part of our lives and what we love to do. You have to love to do hip hop because there are some pitfalls that will make you want to be like, oh, F this. Mm-hmm. It really is. But then there are those moments that make you want to be like, oh, I love this. And it's more of those I love this that keep us there.
That's so true.
We need to F this to learn the lesson.
Right. We got your boy checking in, Ange.
Who's my boy?
Microphone Misfits.
Oh, I hope it's not. Who is it? Which one of them? Is it Ray? Is it Nick? Who is it?
Right. Say Microphone Misfits sending great vibrations to ANG13. We represent Chicago and the Midwest here in Texas. We definitely wanted to pop in and salute you all.
Are they at South by Southwest?
Yeah, I guess because I know D-Nick was telling me that they were going on tour. So I'm assuming that they still doing their thing.
I'm so proud of them. I'm mad proud of them because to be in a group is hard to do. It is hard, but they make it look so easy. Yeah. And they all manage to always still have a smile on their face when they're probably want to kill each other. But Microphone Misfits, if you have not heard of Microphone Misfits, they are from Chicago. They represent the whole culture and they do their thing. They have action figures, they have comic books, they have CDs. Microphone Misfits is the business. And you know, me and D-Nick, we have a love-hate relationship because we co-host on Power Style Radio at one point, and he didn't want to listen to what I was telling him because he was microphone misfit and I was ANG13, and sometimes we just clashing all over the place because it's microphone misfits, D Nick and ANG13.
Right. Yeah.
They're one of my favorite groups. They are.
Yeah. Oh, shout out to another Ill State Assassin checking in right here, D Nilla.
Yay!
Say, Angie, it's always a pleasure to see you in action.
Hi. How are you? I love my Ill State Assassins. I love them because everybody had such personality and nobody was alike. Nobody. Well, we may have dressed alike. Everybody was their own entity. They were. Did they all roll the same way? Absolutely. Absolutely.
Did you have a jacket too, Ange? Did you get one of those jackets?
Earlier in the process, before the patches came with the, we had them stitched on like drawstring jackets and hats with Ill State Assassin stitched in. Gotcha. But I wasn't a part of the patch gang. I left before that time.
Okay. That's what's up. Well, what we're gonna do right now, we already in a whole hour into this interview. So
how long should this be? Are we over? Should we have to
leave? No, we great because we haven't even got to the music yet. So let's do this. We're gonna take a quick commercial break, and then we're gonna come back. So we want to thank everyone for tuning in. There's tons of comments coming in, and y'all keep sharing the broadcast. Y'all keep sharing the broadcast. We're gonna take a quick commercial break, and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna talk about the music. Okay. Yeah. All right, y'all. Y'all watching the RYC Live show. My name is Artistic once again, and we will be right back. Welcome back to the RYC Live Show. This is Artistic, and this is Fresh Friday on RYC Live, and we have our special guest, ANG13, in the
Fresh Friday!
building.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah. So during the commercial break, we had a couple more comments come in, and I just want to read two of these comments real quick. King the Rock says it was Grim Reaper jacket.
Grim Reaper.
And then Danila says original jackets were Grim Reaper jackets.
So I was calling the drawstring jackets, but y'all was calling them the Grim Reaper jackets.
Yeah.
Y'all dress me in Grim Reaper gear.
Yeah, so that's cool. Thank y'all for all the comments that's coming in. Make sure that y'all be able to, for anybody that's just tuning in, if you missed any of the first segment of this interview, you can always go back and look at the playback after this is over.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So Ange, let's talk about the music, because you are definitely a prolific artist right now today, coming out of Chicago, and you've been kicking out a lot of projects over the years, and especially now in recent times. Let's talk about this. What do you remember your first project that actually was published?
I remember the first song that I ever got on that got published.
Okay.
That was Smooth But It Ain't No Radio Jam, courtesy of EC Illa.
Okay.
And it was he, I, and Toxic.
Okay.
The producer Toxic. Yes, Grammy Award winning Toxic. And then it was Every Hood in the Ill with EC Illa and Toxic.
Shout out to brother EC too.
Yes. Oh my goodness. I read your book, EC. Man, this was a good read, y'all. For real. He only made so many copies. So for all of you who did not get a copy of his book, bitch, your ass is out. He only made so many copies. And this book has everything that you could possibly want inside of your mind, inside of a book for the coffee table. Everything in here was a great story, EC. On point.
Yes,
that
sir.
book was on point.
Yeah. So talk about it a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about the transition from your early days of making music that was published to where we at right now. I want to talk about some of the business aspects too, like publishing. And I know, like, sometimes I follow you on your page and how you make posts sometime about just being an artist. The business etiquette of being an artist, let's talk about that.
It took a while because, this stuff was still really new. When we were doing it, we were coming out of high school. We didn't know about contracts. We didn't know about the music business. We just know we wanted to be a part of it. And when I was with Ill State, I left that camp to do music with 33 and a third, and we went and did music for a while, and from there I went on to do music with Planet 11 to put out the very first project that I put out on wax. And Dero Wicks did production, Dick Rock, Panic of the Moment, along with DJ PNS and one other person. Well, that particular project, I don't know what the hell I was doing. I had no idea what I was doing. I relied on the knowledge that everyone else around me had. And they didn't know what they were really doing. So it was the blind leading the blind all over the place. We was bumping into walls, falling over cliffs, drowning, losing all the men we have left playing this game. It was, and still, we still managed to put music out to the people, whether it was on a CD, whether it was on a cassette, whether it was just a live show, or, we made cassettes. Yes, I've been around since cassettes. So, at least I can say it. We have plenty of mediums of doing this music, and you have your ups and downs with it. You really do. But because I loved it so much, I just made it a part of who I was, like every single day. And once people know you can rap, they want you to rap every single day,
Mm-hmm.
all the time. When you're outside, someone always wants to spit you a hot 16. For years in clubs, I could not have a moment of rest because somebody was right here said, hey, check this out. For over 25 years, that was happening.
Wow.
And I look back at it now and I was irritated about it, but saying to myself that that's a part of this whole thing. It's a part of somebody being ready on the spot. Chicago has taught me how to be ready on the spot because it's a possibility you won't get a chance again to spit that hot 16 in this girl ear who is willing to listen. So with working with different producers and having to be able to work with them and their different personalities and still being able to put out music, it's a game, it's an art. It really is an art because you still have to do what you like, because everybody's always going to tell you what should be done, but you still want to put in who you are with the music that you do. You still want to tell the story. You still want to be able to speak the language of the people. You still want to be able to reach people, to be able to talk to your peers and to younger people so that they can understand. And it's a tricky game because sometimes they want to hear it and sometimes they don't. Coming from seasoned artists. So can we say seasoned artists? Yeah, seasoned artists. And I say seasoned artists because we want to put always a time limit on who can be in hip hop. And with music and with art and with dance and with soul, you can't tell somebody it's time for you to stop being who you are. So there is a big thing that I'm hearing about, and I'm praying that I don't really experience too much of it, but ageism in hip hop. And I don't understand why there is even an issue, because when you think about it, I mean, really think about it, when hip hop came out, a lot of the people who were doing it had full ass beards. Already had teeth missing because they was in the streets and they wasn't kids. They wasn't 16 and 17. A lot of them were like 23, 24. They were already adults doing this. So we were kids watching them do this and growing up into it. Everybody's a kid watching somebody do it before them. So don't be tripping on somebody's age. They have to do it before you so you'll know what to do.
Yeah.
You know, and how to do it better. Because my hip hop to me may not be your hip hop to you, but you can look at a little something that I do and take something from it and possibly improve what you got going on. Everybody is to be here to be used by each other, but not misuse each other.
Yeah.
And thank God for music because I love it so much, I was just able to move through these hurdles that they put you through just to even play your record. Mad hurdles. And being able to prove yourself, thank goodness the culture was hip hop, because it's always been a show and prove. It was a show and prove as a graffiti writer, it was a show and prove with these dance moves, a show and prove as being an MC. It was, all of it is, can you prove it? Do you have what it takes to be, reachable to everybody? Will everybody take a look? Will everybody say, wow? That's what it is right now. But then it was, do you have the skills to do it? And thank God I came through at a time where when do you have the skills to do it was the criteria, because now I'm an exhibitionist, but I'm not going to shake my ass on mic. I'm not going to show any part. I'm not going to be naked. I'm not. I can't do it. And as delicious as I am, the finest bitch on Cottage Grove is not going to do that. I'm sorry. But you need the people like me, because there's the opposite of me out there.
Right.
I'm not knocking what they're doing, but we need that balance in life.
Yeah.
So, everybody be yourself, and
Yeah.
don't allow someone to make you into somebody else. Because when I came into the music game, really, these labels right away, dude, they was like, we like what you're doing here. We like your music. We like what you're writing your own material. It's that name. What can we do about that name? I said, we can make it big when we put it in print. And it was like, no, that's not what we're talking about. No. What do you think about changing the name? And I'm 19 years old being asked this in New York. What do you think about changing your name? I'm like, to what? We were thinking of maybe calling you ANG.
Wow.
Myself, I am edgy. What are you doing different? They was like, no. You look like Warren G. You'd be Angie. The Brat made a comment, I think it was Brat one time, that she said that the industry always wanted the female version of a rapper too. So the female version of Snoop is Brat. The female version of Warren G was supposed to be Angie.
Oh.
And something in my head came with a complete sentence and said, if you say yes to this, you can't say no to nothing else.
Exactly.
And I was like, no, thank you. I was being asked to change who I was before I knew who I was.
Yeah.
I was already Sister Ange. You know what I'm saying?
Now, let me ask you, do you think that if you had accepted the offer to sign to a label at that time, do you think your life as a participant in the hip hop culture would be the same?
I think it would be absolutely different. Okay. I really do. Because number one, had I took what was being offered to me, I wasn't taking it as ANG13. I was taking it as the person they wanted me to be.
Yeah.
And I already, if I can't be me, I'm not finna have no fun, because I don't know how to be nobody but me.
Yeah.
So whatever you wanted me to be, that means I gotta walk it and talk it.
Yeah.
Because it has to be convincing. Well, I'm convinced about me. I wasn't too sure about who they wanted me to be. And I wanted to find out who I was first, and then I can do a little bending.
Right.
Of what's being asked of me. But you're not going to change who I am right away, because that means that you really didn't want me anyway.
Exactly.
And I've been in hip hop so long, it took me until like a few weeks ago to realize that I didn't need to be signed, because I was already signed a lot.
I seen that post you made.
Yeah, I didn't think of it until that day, and that's exactly what it's already really been about. It's about the time that it took to build a skill that I was good at, to become the person that I am, to make the contributions that I did, to teach the people that can do it. So it's always a wheel that's never ending, and you don't know that it's a wheel until you stop and look at, man, that's how much was spinning off what I did.
So how does your process work, Ange, in terms of writing material? Do you have to hear the track first, or do you write your rhymes and then you look for a track to go with it? How do you work?
You know, it's funny, Artistic, that you asked that. Back in the day, all it took was for somebody to give me an idea, and I would take 3 topics from that idea and make 3 verses.
Okay.
No track needed. Not a track needed. Now, I prefer getting a track to write to.
Okay.
I prefer it. I mean, it was good that I was able to do it with no music, but I love being able to give what I write a melody or put something to a melody
Okay.
because it's more familiar and it's easier to remember when it's to a melody.
Okay.
What's the first song that you memorized in your life, or the first song you ever sang in your life?
Who you asking me?
Yes.
Oh, man, that's a great question. I have no, you know what? I remember I used to like, I mean, I don't know if this was the first one, but I remember I used to
How do you
like
remember
I used to like
as a child?
Funky Town. Funky, that was one that I kind of I liked and I remembered, and I was able to memorize it to where I can speak with it or sing with it.
Now,
Funky
are
Town.
you talking about the disco song "Funky Town"?
Yep.
Right. And the way you actually put it to memory is because you remember how the melody went. You remember how the
Yep.
beat went.
Yep.
And that is, I think that it was important for me to have the structure to learn how to be able to write. But now having water to glide on with it makes it memorable.
Yeah.
And I was trying to see if you would. I said, "What's the first song you ever remember as a kid?" You said "Funky Town." I'm thinking you're gonna say the Happy Birthday song. The ABC.
Oh, well, yeah, of course, those.
Ow! What time you going up here?
Well, yeah, stuff as a kid, yeah, definitely. Yeah, there you go.
Ooh-wee. That's a child. In it. That's funny.
Wow. Great stuff. Great stuff. That's what's up. That's what's up. So you got so tell us about what you got going on currently today. I heard
So-
you say something about that you had a goal to produce so much and put out so much during a particular time. What is that all about?
Well, Artistic, I'm glad you asked. About last year around this time, I started recording a lot of music. I also started releasing a lot of the stockpile that I
Okay.
had on a drive that I found in my house.
Okay.
So I'm glad I stockpiled that too, because I was able to put out those 5 projects in the first 5 months of the year. And I've had major traffic coming to my sites from just putting together graphic artwork along with those new pieces of music to help drive the whole ANG13 car again, to get that moving. Because along with putting that out, I was able to record other songs that we're getting ready to release this year. So my timing is back perfect, that we're taking a year to record and then we release and then record and release. This way it's a never ending cycle, and it's on our time. It's not on any labels, red line, not red line, deadline. It's not a part of some type of humongous machine dump. It's what we like to do when we like to do it. The most natural way that we can give something that, to people of this culture. Nothing should be forced. Nothing should be, this is the deadline. I never felt that hip hop should have a deadline, because it was art. It was what you felt. And what you feel now may not what you feel in 10 years, in 10 minutes.
Right.
So the whole, let me hear what you got. Now what else you got? Now what else you got? Now what else you got? That whole process of giving people more and more until you're worn the hell out. Nah, that's not what we do. That's how you get to hate what you do, because time is telling you only have so much time to do it. And in life, you do only have so much time to do certain stuff. But the thing that you like, it should be a blissful thing.
Mhm.
Time shouldn't even matter. It's when you feel like it. It's when you are feeling good enough to share with the world, not when somebody needs to have those numbers in so we can fund the next project.
Right.
That's not what this culture is all about. It's not. And so I made sure that I didn't become what they wanted me to be. Because think about it. When all those record labels were in existence, when the internet came, it shut them down so damn quick.
Mhm.
Like quick. What happened to all those artists that were signed to these labels? Where are they?
Right.
Let me tell you where they are. They are stuck in those stupid ass contracts that they never got out of because their label sold their contract to a company who sold it to a company who sold it to a company, and they owed money.
Mhm.
Who the hell wants to owe money and
Right.
you can't put out product? They didn't already shelved you forever, but you still owe them money from a project that probably didn't come out when that whole kerfuffle went down. I mean, it was a humongous drop of artists.
Mhm.
But then when the internet did finally stand up, it was a humongous dump of artists. So
Mhm.
now that specialty that you were doing for the last 10, 15 years is no longer a specialty because now everybody thinks they can do it. Everybody in the whole damn world think they can do it. I mean, every other person thinks that they're an artist. Every other person thinks that they're a DJ. Every other person thinks that they're a production. So it doesn't seem special anymore.
Mhm.
And what makes it really special is when everybody is who they are when they do it. If
Mhm.
we're all still trying to conform to what somebody says we should be to meet their bottom line, then it won't grow to what it could be
Mhm.
because you are never giving you 100% you. We shouldn't get just 100% you when you get to like 50 and 60 years old. Imagine if we can get 100% you from when you first come in the door. We
Mhm.
allow you to make mistakes. We allow you to do experimental things. We allow you to be as free as you possibly can. That's how you get the best out of people. When you
Mhm.
tell them you have to be this, you have to do that, and I said do it now, you get rebellious music, you get lost music, you get afraid music, you get hurt music, you get unmanaged music. And what does music do? Music drives people. You get
Mhm.
hurt people, you get unmanaged people, you get you build the people through the music, up or down. And
Mhm.
so if you can allow people to be who they are to help build people naturally, as opposed to what sells or what's hot right now or what is the fun thing to do, as opposed to the responsible thing, the way you feel, the way things are, the report you have to say about the world, the way, you don't sugarcoat it. It comes into people's system a lot better. We need to not give each other garbage when you are dealing with art, when you're dealing with DJing, when you're dealing with dance. You don't give them garbage dance. You give them dance with flow. You don't give them garbage lyrics. You give them lyrics with flow. You give them music with flow. If
Mhm.
they don't have flow and they have dips in them, they have cracks in them, then you are disrupting the flow. All of this is water. It's all a flow.
Mhm.
And we have to be able to make this flow that vibe that we all caught one day
Mhm.
at one time
Yeah.
around the world. That was called hip hop. And we
So
didn't know it.
yeah, that's a good point. So, and when people listen to your music, what is it that you want them to take away from when they do any of your music? What is your goal ultimately when somebody may have, say somebody listened to you for the first time? What is it that you would like them to take away from when they listen to your music?
That I'm a badass bitch and I don't fuck around. It
Okay.
all depends. It all depends. I mean, okay, when I want people to hear me, I want them to hear strength. I want them to hear fearlessness. I want them to hear courage. I want them to be
Okay.
able to hear something that I say and apply it to their life where it makes a positive change,
Mhm.
or it makes a difference to somebody else because they heard something that I said and was able to apply it somewhere else. I want my music to be able to make people activate. I want them to be able to feel, not be so bottled up and afraid and just to yourself. I want them to be able to enjoy the tempo of the music.
Mhm.
Nothing is so low in frequency you will ever hear from me. Everything is going to be more up tempo, or
Mhm. Mhm.
if it's not as speedy, what's being said is going to be uplifting,
Mhm.
hope to
Mhm.
the people who listen. So it's just music comes in waves, just like feelings. So
Mhm.
you'll never hear too much of the same thing from me because I'm not always thinking the same thing all the time.
Okay. Okay. Who were some of your influences, Ange, that you in the earlier days and even today? Do you still have any?
I do. The people I grew up with influenced me so much because they were not afraid to be different. They weren't afraid to take risks. They were fearless. They really were fearless. And they all seem to have the attitude of what could possibly go wrong. That's actually going to be the name of one of my projects. And they all had a worth ethic to keep trying to get it better. So, of course, I loved Queen Latifah, MC Light, Schoolie D. Of course, I loved all them. But the people that were immediately around me were my inspiration. My
Mm.
family was my inspiration. My uncle was my absolute inspiration. And a lot of people don't know. My mom's twin brother is Ken Johnson. Ken Johnson is the drummer for the Steve Miller Band. The Steve Miller Band made Fly Like an Eagle. So
Oh.
we always had music in my house. So my main inspiration was my uncle because he knew how to play the drums. He knew rhythm. He knew how A connects to B, connects to C, connects to D, how things move in a flowing motion. And because he would always either have a harmonica or some type of instrument around us, I gravitated to that. The whole melody, that is what made me love music so much. It was in me for one, it had to be because my uncle and my mom and everybody, they were all into music. And but my uncle, he had a gold record hanging in my grandmother's house. And I would go there and just stare at it like, man, I wonder if that's real gold. But just to have it in the house, like I can go to somebody else's house and they don't have this. I know they don't have this.
Right.
So thank God for my family being connoisseurs of music, and for the people that were around me in my area in Rogers Park and in Uptown who also loved music, because they inspired me to look into myself to find what I liked about me that I can express through music or just the culture itself. And I really want to say that an inspiration that I have, and a real thanks I want to give, would be to Kingdom Rock. Because
Mm.
Kingdom, at a time when we were really coming up in this, he was not that much older than us, but he took responsibility for us in a way to be better at what we were doing as
Mhm.
far as being a part of the hip hop culture. He was if I could say a father figure without making him sound old,
Right. Right. Right.
he was
Right.
just like I said, he was just a little bit older than us. But thank you to Kingdom, thank you to DeRoe, thank you to Jesse. These are guys who took the road of hip hop and made it available for everybody to walk on. They had avenues that we can all see each other and learn from each other and be a part of this culture together, because they made spaces available for us to do that. So I definitely am inspired by them too. It just seems like I've always been around people who were an inspiration. Thank goodness. I've really really, really love my mom for having us move to the north side, because I think that if we would have stayed south, I don't think I would have known any of y'all. And y'all lived on the south side.
Yeah.
It would be a different world. Hip hop made the world of a difference in my life.
Wow. Kingdom, just type this message in.
True, man. True. You didn't know you was doing that at the time. None of us knew what we were doing at the time. We thought we was just out there doing some old hip hop shit. We had no idea that we were put in motion to set off a whole bunch of stuff inadvertently.
Yeah.
Think about if you weren't here, Art. Think about if Fear wasn't here.
Yeah.
Think about if Upski wasn't here. Think about if La Vie wasn't here from Stony Island.
Yeah.
Think about if Cavalier never came to those all city meetings.
Right.
Think about it. What if he never met Titan?
Right.
What if there was no Disco Day? What if there was no Ramonski Love? Everybody was in place to make this thing called hip hop for Chicago.
And that's oh no, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, please go ahead.
I was just gonna say, and that's what I think ultimately, in my opinion, is really what makes me move, is the fact that all of us play a role on a timeline. We played a role in our crew. You know, think about it. When you might have been solo at one time, but there's no fun as an artist when you're young being by yourself. You want to be around other artists, right? And as a crew, it was just like, wow, this is the thing to do. You know, I like it. These people like it. So now we're doing it together collectively, and you have fun. And I still think, even to this day, I mean, even though that we're not kids anymore, we still like to be around friends that like the same thing that we like.
Right.
Absolutely. And that leads me to this question. Okay. I think that's one of the reasons why, when Kingdom and I sat down and talked, and we talked with Brian Gorman as well, it was of urgency that we at least attempt to put together something to showcase our body of work over the years. And and it's a Chicago thing. It's like, hey, some people come in the museum to this day right now and they say, where's Tupac? It's like, sorry.
So they didn't read the Chicago hip hop.
Right. And that's the thing. Like, we want to help people to understand we have a legacy too. So I want to ask you, Ange, what did you think about the museum when you first came in there? When you first came into the museum, because people see stuff online, but I always tell people, you got to come see it for yourself.
Y'all, I've been in hip hop my entire life. I'm 50 years old, 50. I'm 50 years old now. I'm in hip hop my entire life, and I have seen the struggles that we have had in the hip hop community with organizing things. The Shot Rock Nation, for so long, the biggest organization in the Midwest of hip hop, next to the second biggest organization next to the Zulu Nation, biggest organization. We had such a hard time with being able to complete projects because everybody had good intentions, but it wasn't moving things along because there weren't solid movements being made, because we couldn't finalize a solution that we would all agree with. Right. That's what it was, y'all. We just couldn't do it at certain times.
Right.
I feel that museum is so, and when I first saw it, I was so amazed, because I did not think that I would live to see the day that museum would be in existence, put together by people from our community. There was so much internal strife. I didn't think we would ever get it together. And the museum said otherwise. We had been getting it together all over Chicago. Now, we may not have moving as we should on levels people feel that we should have been moving on, but we were moving to the levels that we needed to move because that is what we were supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
You, Kingdom, Brian, I'm so glad you guys didn't have a prior history with each other because you could come together with your ideas without preconceived notions about each other and still work and produce that museum.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it would have been done if there were more people involved with it. The right number of people were involved with it. The right number of people are involved with it. And it's turned out to be, it's flawless. Y'all did a flawless job.
Thank you, Ange.
You took, dude, I'm telling you, I used to worry about the Chirac Nation. I used to worry about hip hop. We were so passionate with it. We were so angry with each other with it. We were so kind with it. We were so forceful with it. We were so loving with it. We were so hateful with it. It was so many ups and downs and so many different levels that I have seen hip hop and us go through, that museum is saying that it could be done. It may take some time. It may take some dedication, but it can be done. And that's with everything in life. You guys made, in this particular point in time, an end result of all that hard work. Y'all put it in a museum and you're making it available for people to see that everything we did really wasn't in vain. It was all in the name of the culture. Bravo. I hope the museum never closes. I hope y'all get another good location that's bigger, because we have so many artists that are coming out now. I know you guys are flipping everything that's happening on those walls because there is so much, and so much more comes in. And we are building artists every single day that you are going to be moving those pictures out and putting new pictures up because people are making some monumental moves in this. But that history needs to be seen, because so many of us didn't even know a lot of us existed, but our stories all connect.
Yep.
And that's who if we can move like this, there's nothing we can't do. Y'all got to see that we all actually connect. That's the goodness of hip hop. And you can miss them. A link can come out, but the rest of it will always connect. It'll always connect. So, I mean, I was floored. I'm floored every time I drive past it. Like, dang, they in there showing everybody what we did. Dang, they in there giving some information for somebody to start their own life in hip hop. Dang, they are in there showing that it can be done. So I'm proud of y'all. I'm proud of that whole museum. It's incredible. If you are listening right now and you haven't been to the museum, go to that museum. Go and see what Chicago put down. Because a lot of people don't know. They don't know. I didn't know it was a hip hop community before I got in there. I had no idea. So go see what was before you. You ain't it.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So, Ange, what would you like to say to any up and coming artists out there? What would be your words of advice that you can give someone that's new?
Any art, any type of art.
Yep.
That's it. Only you know if it's art. You. Don't let anybody tell you what you're doing, because you're doing it. Nobody's going to do it like you. They will never, ever do it like you. Nobody's going to have the same drive as you. Nobody's going to be the same competition as you. Nobody's going to want it more than you. you. It's up to you to do every single thing that you say that you're going to do if you're the artist that you say you are. And your art, more than likely, is going to help somebody else with their life too. So be exactly who you are to help somebody else be exactly who they want to become. That's all I can really say.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
It was a journey. This whole, if I was to die tomorrow, I'd be like, I did everything that I was supposed to do. This is taking me, hip hop is taking me to like places that I think I would have never gone myself. I've been to almost every single state rocking. Almost every single state. I've gone to Africa and became an international artist. Just being a hip hop artist. I don't think that I would have been able to do it had I not been an MC. What would I have gone out there for? For maybe a job or something? Or they finally told us all to get our black asses out the United States? I don't know. But I got the opportunity to go as myself, how I was created, who I created, and I owe it all to hip hop. Every single bit of it. The culture did not die. It multiplied, it expanded, it grew out of control, and it still makes great people.
So you have a lot of songs in your catalog, but you made one that I want to ask you a question about. This one entitled "I Need Love." What was the ideology behind the title of that song?
I need love, fool. What you mean? I said what I said. I don't know nothing about love. Never seen it before. That's just an urban legend, fiction to soothe the soul. I want love. I want what they talk about love is. I want the definition in the dictionary of love. I want love. I do this hip hop shit for love. Nothing else. Love. You could never give me a nickel off of it. It's all for love. I was very direct, artistic. You knew what I was saying.
Okay. So no, I was just trying to make clear that because it sounds like it was universal.
It
you
is.
know what I'm, yeah. And that's what I kind of thought. I just wanted to make sure, because again, I know sometimes, stuff can be written for a specific purpose, and then sometimes we miss the ultimate picture of it. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the beauty behind being hip hop. It can have more than one meaning, but then sometimes the main meaning, they may miss it or overlook it.
Yeah, I Need Love is very direct, artistic.
Okay.
It is. Think about it. I was very specific, sir. I said 4 letters move a mountain, can make or break a nation, more powerful and opposite of anything you facing. Love is never complacent, driving force to success. Hate always tells you no. Love always tells you yes.
And see that right there, that line, that verse right there, like that, to me, that speaks great volume, Yes,
love will make you do everything. Yeah. Oh man. And I want to say rest in peace to somebody who knew what love was all about, and that is Bobby Caldwell. What you won't do for love. And he just died recently. And I use a reference of his song in I Need Love. What you won't do for love, what you won't go through for love. And his is what you won't do for love. You try everything but won't give up. Peace to that man, because he had me in love with a song. So artistic, I was specific. Okay. I need love, pal. Okay. Need love. Just like LL Cool J did.
There you go. Well, listen, Ange, we're going to conclude. But
you ain't going to conclude it. We were just talking about me needing love. Now you're going to find me a boyfriend. What are you talking about? Don't bring up love and then it's going to drop.
Hey, listen, this is what I want to do. I want to play this song, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
So let's listen to this, especially for anybody that hasn't heard it. Kingdom Say is one of my favorite songs ever.
I need that.
Yeah. I mean, so let's listen to the audio of this song right now. We're gonna take a listen to Angie's "I Need Love," and this is actually the remix. Check it out, y'all.
You love is a very serious word. Very serious word. People be like, I love him, girl, or I love her shoes, or I love that car, I love the person. This is what love does to me. I don't know nothing about love, never seen it before. That's just an urban legend, fiction to soothe the soul. Hope for the sentimental, dreams to confuse the mental. Fake and untangible, he's acting like a cannibal, and you don't know it either. Look how they use and abuse it. And if love is what they say it is, I kindly refuse it. It ain't like, don't confuse it, misinterpret, misuse it. Cause when they said it, I meant believe they fucking lose it. Men and women be swimming in smoking mirrors and chocolates, roses and rooms at the Silverist, trading jewels and watches. True, you better be watching, open your ears and eyes. Your words and actions ain't matching, then don't believe the lies. I don't mean to discourage, but I feed is to nourish. Want my people to flourish, clarity for the flourish. I said I guess I don't know love, well I'm guessing I do. Well I know L-O, so V-E follow through. I need your love. If it can't be love, then it can't be love. If it ain't, then it ain't, then girl, what are you looking for? What you looking for? Just be sure that it's love. I mean love, really love, any love. If it can't be love, then it can't be love. If it ain't, then girl, what are you looking for? What you looking for? Just be sure that it's love. I mean love, really love, any love. I need love. Hey, I need that damn OD. Hey, you need that damn OD. Hey, we need that damn OD. Let us move a mountain, can make or break a nation. More powerful and opposite of anything you facing. Love is never complacent, driving force of success. Hate always tells you no, love always tells you yes. Pushes you to the limit, cares you cross the finish. Make every doubt diminish, be all about the business. Nothing on earth is like it, can't bite it, can't fight it. The highest form of adoration, adjacent to Nathan's silence. Silence of the lambs, it don't come in no drams. But when it comes, it hits like drums, you be instantly sprung. What you won't do for love, what you won't go through for love. Can't breathe it, can't see it, you need it, she'll change you for love. It'll make you lose your mind, all in you losing time. Nothing else matters when it's love, it's all Cupid's design. It hurts, it heals, it blinds, it binds. And once you got it, you got infinite shine, just like mine. I need your love. If it can't be love, then it can't be love. If it ain't, then it ain't, then girl, what are you looking for? What you looking for? Just be sure that it's love. I mean love, really love, any love. If it can't be love, then it can't be love. If it ain't, then girl, what are you looking for? What you looking for? Just be sure that it's love. I mean love, really love, any love. I need love. Hey, I need that damn love. Hey, you need that damn love. Hey, we need that damn love.
That must be your favorite song.
Yeah, I like this one. I think this is a really good universal song. I mean, it's pleasant on the ears. You know, so I see some people liking it too. You know, especially if that's your first time hearing it. I mean, you have a lot of great songs, but that's one of my favorites right there.
Thank you, Artistic. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So listen, Ange, how can people catch up with you? How could they connect with you? You know, what is your social media platforms? You know, give them the spiel.
Well, okay. So all on the social media platforms, I can be found at ANG13 Chicago. ANG13 CHICAGO. That's for Instagram. That's for Facebook. That's for Twitter. That's for everything that's social media. If you want to reach me through email because you got some great tracks for me, it is ANG13@gmail.com. If you want to meet me on Casbar, the internet, go to ANG13.com, ANG13.com. Or if you want to hear the entire catalog, you can Google me, ANG13. There's another artist who goes by the name of ANG13. I'm ANG13, ANG13. ANG13, no space in between. No space. No, not that, not even, no space. ANG13, no space in between. And if you do have music that you want me to get with you on, I really, really, really love all types of music.
Okay.
Everything. If you got some polka you want me to get out on, I'm with it. It just gotta be dope. If you got a project that you want me to put together for you, I also do beats.
There you go.
Ange13.com. Still, Ange13 at gmail.com. Ange13 Chicago. It's an Ange13 type of day. It really is. It's a Friday. And every day is a Friday to me. I'm loving every minute of it.
That's what's up.
See, that's the song you should have played, Artistic.
Well, listen, we'll have to come back another day and do a part 2 because you got so much.
Okay,
So much.
we can do that. Another
Yeah.
day is good too. Thank you very much for even having me on here. Thank you for listening to my long story. Thank you everybody who tuned in, and to Miss Cash. I saved your number in my phone there, so I will call you back. And to Kingdom Rock, thank you. Because if you were not there, I would not be here.
Wow.
Absolutely. I wouldn't.
Wouldn't
be here.
That's real talk.
It
real
is.
Talk.
It is. Look, you raised somebody who turned out to be a good person. I mean, besides, the robberies we used to do, but I turned out pretty good. Sure did.
That's what's up. All right, Ange. Well, you enjoy the rest of your night. I love you.
Love you too.
Keep up the good work, and we look forward to seeing you sooner than later.
And yes, new projects coming out with ANG13 and Long Shot Army of Two this summer, along with the project that I am doing with my friend Charlie Tuna and Cut Chemist in a few weeks. Stay tuned.
Word. All right, y'all. We be back next week, same time, same channel, RYC Live.
We be back.
We out.
We be back.
Peace.
We be back. We be